Aquarius, and welcome to your reading for the period covering April 2nd through 15th, 2024. This is a reading if you are an Aquarius sun, moon, rising, or have another significant Aquarius placement in your chart. If you're new to this channel, welcome. It's good to have you here. And if you're returning, welcome back. I'm glad you find these readings helpful, and I hope this week's reading is a very good one for you. I do these readings according to the 12 houses of astrology, and I interpret the cards in light of what the meaning is of the particular house. My main deck that I use is Murray Hope's Way of Cartouche deck, and this week I'm going to be clarifying with a tarot deck, and this week I'm going to be using the Aquarian Tarot, and I will be following up with a Gateway Oracle card just to summarize the reading. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, leave me a comment if you choose, and if you do like these, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you don't miss when these videos come out. I do them roughly every other week now. I do 6 signs each week. I also have some links down in the description below for my website and the other services I offer in terms of astrology, human design, Reiki, tarot readings, and spiritual coaching, as well as my social media and so forth. So if any of that interests you, that is all down in the description box below. Okay, so let's get started with your reading. Now we are in a period, moving into a period where Mercury is retrograde, which will bring about potentially travel delays, problems with electronics, can bring about miscommunications. Anything ruled by Mercury can get a bit fouled up. So if you do have trips planned, allow yourself extra time for potential delays. Do be careful about communicating, because it's very easy to be misunderstood or for communications to get delayed at this time, and not a good time to buy electronics or to sign contracts. If you have to sign contracts, make sure you read the fine print. And then we also have a solar eclipse coming up on April the 8th. So be very careful about that. Actually, in terms of viewing it, funny, I've just come back from doing Easter dinner with my family, and of course I gave everybody eclipse glasses because I had bought myself a package probably 6 weeks ago. Because yeah, that's just something you don't want to look directly at. That if it's not good. It can burn holes in your corneas. But aside from that, astrologically speaking, eclipses bring big changes. They bring big revelations. They bring, so there'll be a lot of truths that come out, and they can also bring sudden and radical change. Although changes from the eclipses can take up to a 6-month period of time. We did just have a lunar eclipse on March 25th, and this is all, this could be precipitating a lot of shakeups and a lot of change, different areas for different people, and we'll see what comes up in your reading as to where this might affect you. Okay, so anyway, that all out of the way. First house, we're going to be looking at the Aries energy in this house. This has to do with your personality, how you present yourself to the world, how other people see you. And we have the 7 of Swords with Isis. So this is interesting because on the one hand, Isis indicates somebody who's very nurturing, very compassionate, who people feel has an almost, there's almost a motherly vibe to this card with Isis. And so people may look to you as somebody who is comforting, or somebody who is compassionate, who they can turn to. But we have it with this 7 of Swords. So the 7 of Swords, there's a distrustful energy to the 7 of Swords. So I feel like yes, there's definitely this compassionate energy here, but there's something that you're not revealing to other people. Maybe it's something that you feel, maybe you're afraid of somebody sabotaging you. Maybe you're sabotaging yourself. That can happen with this card. Or it could just be that, for some reason, there's something you're not revealing to people or not showing them. And you may be doing this out of a sense of what you feel is a necessity. 7 of Swords can also imply negotiations and diplomacy. So maybe there's a situation where you feel you cannot fully reveal yourself, and perhaps you are trying to be diplomatic. What's coming into my mind is for some of you at least, maybe this is almost an overcompensation. Maybe you're over giving to certain people as a means of kind of negotiation for something that maybe you're not showing to people, or something you're in doubt about or don't feel comfortable about. But there's definitely this energy with the 7 of Swords of holding something back or not showing something, along with this energy, this very compassionate and nurturing energy. So interesting. We'll see how that might play out throughout the rest of the reading. The second house is Taurus energy, and this has to do with your finances primarily. And we have fire with the sun, and the sun is Leo energy. So this is double fire. Sun is great. So the sun, this would indicate that the sun is shining on this part of your life. So this would, if there's been money troubles, this would definitely bode well for this being, you being able to clearly see what the path forward might be, or this could just indicate obstacles being lifted with regard to your finances. The fire card, certainly if there are any issues, you'll be suddenly inspired as to how to resolve the problem, because fire always brings an inspiration, and it also purifies and burns things up. So yeah, I feel like this is, you may be focusing on your money situation and focusing on maybe clearing up debt, clearing up certain issues, maybe taking a new job for some people, or making changes to increase your income. Some people pick up a side gig or something like that. Whatever it is, the sun is shining on this part of your chart, so definitely this is a very good omen for your finances regardless. Third house is Gemini energy, and Gemini this is one of the areas that the retrograde might affect. This is communications, messages of all kinds, self-employment. If you are self-employed, that is covered by this area. Short trips, so quick trips, not long journeys, by plane or overseas or something like that. So this would be a short trips. It would also be sibling relationships, so possibly brother-sister relationships. Again, not all of these things are necessarily going to apply to you, but I'm just covering all aspects of the house when I interpret the cards. You can take which ones apply and leave the rest. But there's definitely this sense of, this is definitely a house of messages and communication primarily. And okay, we do have messages here. We have the Page of Rods. Okay, so this does indicate new messages coming in. Pages usually bring good news, and this can also bring enthusiasm. Maybe you're planning something new. We have it with Ta, so this could be that you may be starting your own business, or making plans to either, this could be about making corrections. This is about slowly building something up. This is Capricorn energy, so this is kind of that slow, steady, reliable, persistent building of something. And when this comes up here, I feel like this is that you're going to be probably putting a lot of work into perhaps a business venture, or perhaps there is some kind of communication going back and forth about, again, something you're building. Whether this is figuratively in the sense of, I'm building a business or building up my career, or whether it's something literal, like I'm working on my house, or I'm building a shed in the backyard. Whatever it is, there's definitely this aspect of building, whether literal or figurative. And but there's a lot of planning towards building or towards the mastery of something right now. But as I said, indicated, because of the retrograde, you may just be in the planning stages right now and maybe working at something a little bit at a time. That's probably your best bet for right now. If this had to do with sibling relationships, again, this could potentially have to do with a brother or sister rather than you, if you have siblings. That's overall, that's not a terrible thing. That just may indicate making plans and working slowly and steadily. Fourth house is Cancer energy. This has to do with your home, your physical home. It can also do with your family, your ancestry, your roots, all of that kind of stuff, and your sense of security, and also potentially the mother. Okay, so we have Set here. Now, Set is the Stormbringer, so this does seem to be an area where there's delays, problems, or blocks, whether this has to do with family or whether this has to do with your physical home. We do have it with Crook and Flail. Sometimes Crook and Flail can indicate something to do with authorities. Crook and Flail usually indicates somebody who is in authority. So I don't know if you have some kind of a problem at your home and maybe you're bringing an expert in to look at the problem. If this is a family situation, perhaps there's some kind of legal matter going on. That is always possible with this card. Whatever the situation is, if there's been a difficulty or if there's been a family quarrel, Crook and Flail can also mean that you're going to be proven to be in the right, that you are, that you're not actually doing anything wrong. Usually, when this card comes up, okay, maybe there's somebody who has a disagreement with how you're doing something. That is also possible in this particular house. But basically, this is saying, you can understand that you have not violated anything or done anything wrong. We have it with the Nine of Rods. So I feel like this could be a repeat situation. That is also very typical of Mercury retrograde, that you may have situations that come around. So if there have been issues around the family or perhaps a recurring home problem, Nine of Rods kind of indicates it's the wounded warrior card. You're tired of it. You just want to be kind of done. Okay, this is kind of like, you're sick of the same old thing coming up over and over again. But the fact that it's a 9 seems to indicate that you are getting to the end of something, or perhaps there's going to be an opportunity now for you to push through to the finish line and solve whatever this problem is. 5th house is Leo energy, and Leo is about creativity, about children, love affairs. Again, all 3 of those things may not apply to you, probably don't. But we have Sphinx with the 8 of Swords. Okay, so first of all, Sphinx represents secrets. There's some information that you're not getting, and it's interesting. Where do we see that? 7 of Swords up here. So whether you're not sharing information, whether other people are not sharing information with you, this could be about a child, if you have children, or if there's a situation with a child in your family. It can also have to do with a lover, or somebody you're dating. It could be, or somebody you want to date. There could be somebody who has a secret, who is not telling you something. Or somebody perhaps who is being passive when you want them to be active, to make a move. But this is definitely the situation here, whatever it is, even if it has to do with a creative project that maybe you want to move forward on. There's definitely, this has a lot of wait and see energy. Like there's something to be revealed. And this may be one of the areas where you're going to discover a truth about something, okay? Because this is definitely indicating that there's something secret here. And like I said, if this has to do with a love relationship, then it may be that you're being wary of somebody, and maybe because you feel like you're not getting all the information from them. Of course, we have it with the 8 of Swords. So 8 of Swords is a card that has to do with, excuse me, this is a card that has to do with being stuck mentally, something that you may be overthinking or maybe looking at one way. So I don't want to, well, the word stubbornness is coming into my mind. So maybe there's just the insistence that you want to look at a situation in one particular way, and it may be leaving you mentally stuck. However, whatever's going on, you're putting a lot of mental energy into it, because I think you know that there's something here that you don't know. But the advice here is, well, first of all, with the 8 of Swords, you can get yourself mentally unstuck. You need to kind of back away from the situation a little bit, not overly focus on the minutiae of something or the details. Step back and look at the bigger picture of something, because this is definitely a situation where one could free themselves. This woman could free herself from this. All she has to do is kind of move her arms. Her legs are totally free, and what she is bound with is not anything. I think somebody had described this as tissue paper torture. You could easily break free of what this is, but a lot of times this is just us, in a way, mentally doing this to ourselves. So I don't know. You may be very mentally anxious about something. It's either connected to a child, to a love affair, or potentially connected to a project of some kind, a creative project, which can cover a lot of territory. Creative projects can be any kind of thing that you do that's crafty, that you do with your hands. It could have to do with arts, music, writing, things like that, but it doesn't have to. It's just whatever it is you are trying to create, okay? Or whatever it is where you, again, the Leo is about where it's like that sun energy, where the light shines on something. But this area of this Leo energy where the light is shining on something, we're seeing secrecy here. So regardless, I feel like this may be an area where you need to, don't tie yourself up in knots mentally. Wait, because there's going to be some information coming here soon. 6th house is Virgo, and Virgo energy has to do with your health. It has to do with worries and anxieties. It can also have to do with a job. Okay, it's a job. We have a job house and we have a career house. So I always feel like this has to do more with employment that you're doing that may or may not be connected to your career. It can also be volunteer work and things like that. It can also have to do with pets. Now we have Hathor with the 4 of Cups, so that's interesting. Now, if this has to do with a health matter, Hathor usually shows up when you want to pay attention to diet and nutrition. 4 of Cups has to do with boredom or dissatisfaction with something. So you could be bored or dissatisfied with the job right now. Maybe, I don't know, maybe that's it. Maybe some people are stress eating because of the job. I don't know. There could be something like that. The other possibility here is that we have this strong feminine influence. So it could be a job that is considered to be connected to what we call Venus energy in nature. So it could be anything to do with beauty, like being a beautician, a nail tech, an esthetician, a makeup artist, somebody in fashion. I mean, it could be any of those things, or cooking or baking, things that we typically associate with domestic or feminine kinds of things. But this could also represent a woman. Okay, this could be an actual person. So take it as it resonates. It's not going to be the same for everybody. But this Four of Cup energy has two possibilities. You could be bored right now with something, but oftentimes this comes up when we're not satisfied with what we have, or when we might be being warned not to miss an opportunity. This card can also come up when we are being offered something. We may be going, I don't know, or it's something that's there and we're just not seeing it because we're looking over here. If you look at this is a person who's staring at these three cups, and there's this cup being held out to them from this above in the tree, but they're not looking at it. So make sure you're not missing opportunities. And I think there's a sense of focusing on what your opportunities might be, maybe rather than on what's lacking. Okay, so if this doesn't have to do, the other possibility here is that in the Virgo house, when I see Hathor, it could mean that this is time to set up a new routine and to get organized in some fashion. So you may be in a situation where you want to reevaluate, clean up, make corrections in places maybe where you are dissatisfied. So there's definitely the sense of anything that you might be concerned or worried about, whether it's connected to a job or not, or to your health. There may be something that you're missing here. So you want to keep your eyes open. 7th house, Libra energy. This has to do with partnerships that are more serious, committed partnerships, ones that are marriage partnerships, things that are legalized, business partnerships, contracts, things like that. Now we have Thoth with the Queen of Swords. Okay. Now Thoth can indicate a karmic relationship, or one that is quote unquote destined by fate. But this doesn't necessarily mean, some people interpret that as, meeting the person who's the one. And it could be the case. But Thoth can also show up when we have either somebody returning from the past, or a karmic relationship in the sense of, I need to engage with this person to resolve something once and for all and finish it up. I mean, that's another aspect of Thoth here. Sometimes Thoth could be showing up that there's legal issues. So if somebody's involved in a divorce or something like that, that could also, or some kind of legal issue with a business partner, that could also be showing up here. Although Thoth is generally not a negative. A lot of times it has to do with healing. Or maybe there's somebody who's been dealing with a health issue of some kind. That's also possible. And again, if somebody's not dealing with a health issue now, then don't assume that they're going to be. It's just, these are all the possible interpretations of Thoth. Now, Queen of Swords, typically in a relationship house, this is somebody who's either widowed or divorced, or just somebody who's very cynical about relationships, because Queen of Swords is emotionally detached. So you may be in a situation here, maybe there is somebody who you feel is keeping something from you. So, and again, you're across from the 7 of Swords over here. So I feel like, you might be, it seems like you could be a warm and compassionate person, but you may be a little bit cooler towards somebody in a relationship situation, especially if there is some kind of a legal matter going on. But Queen of Swords indicates seeing things for what they are. It's kind of a no BS kind of a card. But the other thing too, especially since I'm seeing the 4 of Cups here, Queen of Swords can sometimes show up when we are being overly perfectionist about something, when we're being very, very picky. Now, again, when it comes to relationships, obviously you want to have a relationship with somebody who you trust and who you respect, regardless of whether it's a love relationship or not. But sometimes this can be showing up when we are maybe being too hard on somebody, or expecting too much of somebody, or expecting, I'm not going to get involved with somebody unless they're absolutely perfect in every respect. And nobody's like that. So just be aware that there may be some areas where you might have to negotiate. And again, seeing this 4 of Cups, there's this energy here, and this 8 of Swords, this stuck energy. There seems to be this energy here about some kind of a partnership, or it could be a marriage situation, could be a child situation, whatever it is, where there may be there may be a very, very harshly, overly critical, focusing too much on the negative with something. So just keep that in mind. This is something that can be fixed and can be overcome. Yeah, so I don't know, but you definitely feel here like, maybe there's somebody you have to watch out for. So, and who knows? I mean, everybody knows their situation. If you happen to be somebody who's going through a difficult divorce or something like that, then yeah, maybe you have a reason to feel this way. But I do feel like this is something you want to make sure you're not getting yourself mentally stuck and therefore missing opportunities for positive change. Okay. 8th house, Scorpio energy. This has to do with transformations, like big changes, beginnings, endings, and also potentially joint finances. Okay, so we have Pyramid with Judgment. Yeah, Judgment is, this is definitely an awakening. Now, it can be a divorce, okay? Again, I said that over here. Maybe somebody watching me is going through that. But Judgment can also just mean, again, during a retrograde period, this suggests to me that something is coming around again and a final decision on something has to be made. You need to wake up to something. You need to settle it once and for all. I mean, you've got it with Pyramid, which is this idea that this is a test or an initiation of some kind. Okay, so this is a strong test situation for you. Not with just one individual situation, but it seems like it's going to touch on many areas of your life. This is something where you have the potential to transform, to move into a new space. So you have this here, and with Judgment, yeah, I feel like there's a finality to this, the sense that, okay, we are now going to solve whatever this is once and for all. So take that as it resonates, but there definitely seems to be coming to the end of a cycle. That said, with Pyramid, this could be something, this isn't necessarily something that's going to happen just like that and then be done. This could take some time. Okay, 9th house, this is Sagittarius energy. This has to do with expanding your horizons. So long distance travel, going back for more education or another degree. This has to do with higher education, in particular, colleges, universities. Can have to do with spiritual or religious organizations or philosophical ones. Anything that has to do with deep thought, deeper thinking about life. And and also just things that have to do with freedom, with independence. Again, this is Jupiter energy. This is about expansion, about breaking out boundaries. And sometimes it has to do with legal matters as well. But we have the Hermit with Sirius. Okay. So with the Hermit, this is like you needing to beat a retreat somehow, okay? The Hermit is taking time out to think about deeper matters. So for some of you, maybe you are really questioning the meaning of your life or what you're doing or where you're going. There seems to be a lot of soul searching with this card. It is Virgo energy, and maybe you're even going to take a long trip to get away and to think about some things, okay? That's a possibility here. It doesn't have to be. But this does seem like you are looking to go into some matters very, very deeply. Sirius would indicate in that respect, situations where you're kind of taking the rough with the smooth. Nothing horrible, but it can be something where there's some endurance, a few bumps in the road. And Sirius ends up creating a situation where we need to think more broadly, think outside the box. It's Aquarius energy, so it's very futuristic. It's your own energy, really, this card. And it says, we not want to look at everything with an open and unbiased mind. So yeah, I feel like there's been something that's provoking some soul searching. If there has been a recent loss or crisis, again, if we're going to follow the example of a potential divorce that's going on, maybe if this has been a long-standing marriage, maybe this is making complete changes to your identity. Maybe if you're a very religious person who says, well, I don't believe in divorce and now it's happening, there could be a lot of reevaluation going on. That doesn't have to be what's going on here, but that's one possible interpretation that could apply to somebody. But nonetheless, however it applies to you, there's definitely this idea of some soul searching and broadening of doing some mental gymnastics, like the broadening of your horizons, getting out of this 8 of Swords energy where you are restricting your thinking. Okay, and yeah, now we have the 10th house, Capricorn energy. Capricorn is about fame, reputation, career, legacies that you're going to leave, your connection to the world, and also potentially father energy. And yeah, you've got air with the 8 of Cups. So for somebody, this is going to be a change in career or change in job, okay? Air, it can also indicate a trip that's connected with it as well, but air definitely brings fast changes or new communications or new things that are coming in. And you have it with the 8 of Cups. So this indicates walking away from something that has served you for a long time. So for some of you, yeah, maybe this is getting out of a business partnership. Maybe this is a big change in a family situation, because there's also the 10th and the 4th house are opposite each other, and there is a little bit of a family vibe, but this does have to do with you and what you're offering to the world. So there's something you've been doing that you're walking away from. I also note that this card, if you see the moon here, this is actually the moon. This is actually the sun being covered by the moon. So this is a solar eclipse card, and we're having a solar eclipse coming up on the 8th, and this is the 8 of Cups. So yeah, I feel for some of you that this may have to do with changes to your career, that this is where the eclipse is going to be affecting you. You may be making some changes, and yeah, you may walk away from things that again, even if it was something that worked for you for a long period of time, you may be saying, okay, I'm done now. I'm walking away. All these cups are full and upright, but the seeker's walking away from them. So there are changes coming here. If you're not changing jobs, if you're staying right where you are in your career, nonetheless, there does seems like there's going to be some big changes coming. If not specifically in the job that you're doing, maybe in the kind of things that you're offering. Maybe you are thinking about expanding your horizons or making certain kinds of changes. But yeah, there's definitely a sense of, there's an itchiness, there's a dissatisfaction here. And so there's a looking at new opportunities and thinking about walking away from something. So yeah, some of you may be making a job change after a long time as well. Like this might not, I mean, it could be both. You could be getting a divorce and changing jobs. I mean, all of these things are possible. Maybe this difficulty here could be somebody has to move house, and maybe you're tired. Maybe you're overtired with something. That could be a situation for somebody. But nonetheless, it does look like it's still a very good financial situation for you. So yeah, anyway, moving on to Aquarius energy. This is the 11th house, and we have the buckle of Isis with the moon. Okay, now buckle of Isis indicates, again, there's this idea of sacrifice, of giving something up, walking away from something. This house is about our relationships, our friendships, our business networks, and also our goals and our destiny, what our wishes are, what we want to manifest. So this is indicating that sacrifices are going to need to be made to manifest your wishes. You may even be separating from some friends. People maybe, again, there's definitely a clean out here, and it seems to be potentially on the job level, potentially on the marriage or relationship level, and maybe also on the friend level. It seems like you're cleaning house here in terms of your influences, which would definitely explain why you're feeling like this, like you need to, why you still want to be an open and compassionate person, but why you still feel like you may need to hide part of yourself or hide something from people. Yeah, and the moon indicates, again, there's this lack of clarity with the moon. You may be unclear about something or about people's motives. Maybe you feel like you do need to make these changes, but maybe you're unclear about how to proceed right now, okay? There's a lot here where you're going to have to follow your intuition. And again, I feel with this eclipse energy, things that are not clear right now are going to be made clear. If there are friendships or net partnerships that maybe have turned more toxic, or maybe you are coming across somebody who maybe you feel you cannot trust for some reason, then this will be the time when maybe you're saying, okay, now it's time. This is advising you that making the break, even if it feels like it's something that feels painful in the short term, maybe it's something that's worthwhile in the long term. Because buckle of Isis has a lot to do with fidelity. Who are your real friends here? Okay. And finally, we have the 12th house. Pisces energy has to do with what's hidden, what you're not showing people, what you might be afraid of, or what you might have doubts about. And you have Bastet with the 3 of Rods. So the 3 of Rods is about manifesting. It's about what you've put out and like waiting for your ship to come in. This person who's looking at the 3 rods, when you, on the Rider-Waite-Smith version of this card, if you back up, you can see more of this scene, and the person's actually looking out over the water and watching the ships come in. So this has to do with collaborations, working with others, putting energy out there to manifest what you want. Bastet has to do sometimes with psychosomatic things. So if you've had any kind of sicknesses, whether they be headaches, whether they be stomach problems, or other kinds of aches and pains, there's the possibility that these are psychosomatic in nature, meaning that your stress and anxiety are the root cause of them. Now, again, just a caveat here, anything having to do with health, please see your doctor and don't just rely on me. But this could certainly be the case if you are going to the doctor and getting tested and cannot find an answer. it may be that it may have its source in something that's stressful. So there is something here where you want to resolve it, finish it, and clean it up. And I don't know, maybe you have doubts that what you're putting out is going to come back to you. But from what I'm seeing here, definitely making a move and making a change and moving towards what it is that you really want, collaborating with the right people, is definitely a good thing to do here. But I feel like you may have some concerns or some doubts about moving in that direction, and there could be something where there's some emotional anxiety that may be going on here when we see Bastet in this house. Overall, though, you have the Knight of Pentacles with the winged disc. So this winged disc in the center of a reading means it doesn't matter what opposition exists in this reading, you are going to be fine, okay? You are home and dry, as Marie Hope says in her book, which I read years ago. I've actually been using this deck since 1987, so... but I remember she only says that it's winged disc in the center is home and dry, regardless of any opposition. So you will overcome whatever's going on here. You will get the answers that you need. Some areas, like as we're seeing in this relationship area, maybe you need to be cautious, take your time, make sure you get all the facts. Anything that you're reconsidering, maybe you need to take some time out. Knight of Pentacles is a very stable and secure card. So this idea that you are building something slowly and steadily. So yeah, you will find the stability that you are seeking here in all these areas that feel cloudy, but it may be a slow go. And maybe things may be going slower than you want right now. But again, with the energy that's going on here, you want to make sure you have all the facts and that everything, and that you are cleaning up old business and taking care of things. It seems like in this reading, this is more about maybe jobs or relationships where you need to figure that out. Overall, with the Knight of Pentacles, then you are, but it's basically saying slow but steady progress here. All right, so let's pull the Gateway Oracle card here. Okay. And yep, oh my goodness, I just picked up the Hermit. Your card here is called Looking Deeper, okay? And it says, deep within me is a majestic radiance. Yeah, and remember, I was just pointing to the Hermit card here. Whatever's happening in your life right now is encouraging you to look at things more deeply. There may be things that you value or beliefs that you have that maybe are no longer proper to the person that you are. There could have been things that you've identified with that may be changing. So you may be feeling a bit distrustful right now. Yeah, this is definitely this eclipse period. You want to take time out and look more deeply into yourself. Not only authentically what you want and who you are, but look very authentically at what's going on around you, and the people in your life, and what, who's really on your side here. And if there's people who you feel don't have your best interests, then you want to think about bidding those people adieu and moving forward. But the main thing is, regardless of what's happening here, you're going to be fine. You're stable. Things are going to move along slowly. You are going to overcome things. Finances look great. And these other areas, I can feel the dissatisfaction and the tension and the, ready to move and make a change. But, again, I feel like you need to take time out to take a deeper look right now. So that's it for right now, Aquarius. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this reading was helpful. If it was, please leave me a thumbs up. Leave me a comment if you choose. And if you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell. It definitely helps this channel. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you next time.